on with Allergan, the pharmaceutical takeover artist formerly known as activist. After the government blocked Pfizer's purchase of Allergan, the company went right back to its old acquisitive ways, but with very different kinds of companies. In fact, in just the last 2 weeks, Allergan has announced not one, but two larger-scale acquisitions. Last week, the company shelled out $639 million for Vitae Pharmaceuticals. That was a 160% premium for a company that will strengthen their amazing dermatological pipeline with a phase 2 pill that could help treat psoriasis and other, more importantly, autoimmune conditions, big market. Then yesterday, we found out that Allergan is paying what could be as much as $1.7 billion to buy Tabira Therapeutics. Stock rose over 700% as a result. This is a company with a phase 3 liver disease drug that generated, I think, some disappointing clinical trial results over the summer, something that caused Tabira's stock to plummet 60% in a single session. Well, it's really important to point out that the actual upfront payment is only $595 million, not the huge number that everybody's bandying around. I am a big believer in Allergan and its management team, which is why we own the stock for my charitable trust, where you can follow along all of our moves. We've been writing endlessly about Allergan at actionalertsplus.com. But stock sold off a bit yesterday on this Tabira news. And given the huge premium involved, I can't blame anyone for wondering if the company might be getting into the habit of overpaying for some of these early-stage biotechs. That said, Allergan's got a long track record doing smart deals, I believe, and deserve they get the benefit of the doubt. Still, though, we need to ask tough questions about these guys because Allergan's pledge on drug pricing restraint, about the company's ability to capitalize profitability on the sale of its generic drug business to Teva for $33.75 billion in cash, $6.75 billion in stock. Now, that will go all being called in question by shareholders. Let's take a closer look at Brent Saunders. He's the president and CEO of Allergan. Hear more about the state of his company and these latest deals. Brent, welcome back to Mad Money.
Jim, thank you.
Good to see you. All right, Brent, we got to get right to it. Sure. On the conference call this morning, people are saying, what's with you? Why are you overpaying for these things? And I need you to tell our viewers because your stock's been getting hit when you make these acquisitions.
Yeah, look, I think criticism is always helpful, right? Okay. We love the feedback. I love to get the feedback from shareholders. But I don't think we overpaid. I think we paid a competitive price for Tabira. I think we got a home run on Vitae.
With who? Brad is upset with who? Were there really other companies bidding for this thing and you had to come? There were.
There were other companies. And when you see the regulatory filings come out from Tabira, it's their filing to put out, I think the picture will be clearer and you'll be able to understand it better. But put that aside. $595 million for a potentially phase 3 ready asset in one of the largest unmet medical need categories, fatty liver disease, right? No treatments available today, a category that could be $8 to $10 billion, and this could be the best-in-class, first-in-class drug that has an effect on fibrosis and immunomodulation.
I'm coming right back at you. The July results were bad. The stock got crushed. What happened that it's now good?
You see, I think the July results were misunderstood. Yes, it was a mixed trial in terms of the design. The secondary endpoint, which was impact on cirrhosis, on fibrosis. I'm sorry, fibrosis. The impact on fibrosis that was meaningful. And today, that is the surrogate endpoint that the FDA is looking for registration. So what happened was the FDA requirement flipped during the time that study started, and the secondary endpoint, which was successful, was actually the most important endpoint. It was the most impactful in terms of the disease progression. And we believe that endpoint will be the basis for the phase 3 studies and ultimate approval, and frankly, the benefit for patient. And most importantly, they saw it at 52 weeks, which is unheard of.
Right. So
this is a long progressive disease. It's potentially reversing the disease at 52 weeks. That's pretty impressive.
So in other words, you think that the market was a little confused.
That's
justifiably because of the price. We're all blinded.
Yeah.
But there is a rationale, and it will be additive.
I think it will be additive, and I think that this drug, CBC, from Tabira, will be the cornerstone of NASH therapy. NASH therapy, like, I'd say, oncology, immuno-oncology, that's going to become a combination or polypharmacy type approach to treat various cancers. That's how NASH will be treated. Large need. This drug, CBC from Tabira, will be the centerpiece or cornerstone of all future monotherapy and combination therapy. This could be one of the biggest drugs. Again, we have to prove it in trials. But this could be one of the biggest drugs Allergan has ever produced. And we have some big ones coming, like Rapasano and others. $595 million up front, expensive, get that. But all the rest of the payments, performance related.
Okay, all right, that's important. Now, the companies you're buying are almost, to me, basic research. The old days, you put things through a pipeline, fire people, whatever. I mean, you were never Mylan, you were never Teva, and you were never Valiant. But, Brent, you put out our social contract with patients. All day, all afternoon, we had this Heather Bresch on talking about the EpiPen. I am worried that the Brent Saunders that I know, who is making money for shareholders, is deciding that what he really has to do is have a social contract that limits how much money he makes money for shareholders, because we're in a political war, and you're the only guy who's taking it seriously.
Well, I wish others would take it more seriously.
Yeah, because they're not.
Right, and watching this trial is very painful for the industry.
Right.
That being said, we're a biopharmaceutical company. We compete on a couple really important dimensions: sales execution, new product launches, one of them being best in class, and most importantly, bringing innovation for unmet medical need, cures and treatments for diseases. Price should be a small part of the equation. Right. We at Allergan don't need it. And in fact, we committed it to single-digit price increases in the third quarter of last year. And so this has no impact on our guidance. This has no impact on our ability to grow. Yes, perhaps in the future it puts more pressure on us as management to innovate, but that's what you should want from us. Okay. If you're investing in my stock and I took 15% price increases on old drugs and I got called in front of Congress, the stock would be down 50% in a week. Right. Why would you want to invest in that kind of risk?
So that's the trial for the industry, is that there are a lot of other companies that are not doing what you're doing.
And I think, unfortunately, it's not, they're going to pay the price, unfortunately. This issue is not going away. The American people deserve to be angry, and only we, through self-police and self-regulation, can fix it. A government takeover of healthcare is not what we need. We need discipline, we need responsibility, we need companies to do the right thing.
All right, well, one last question. This is a little philosophic, but it is mad money. Brent, your stock is not doing as well since you've embraced this posture. Is that just short-term thinking by me, and that longer-term, this is the way out of the conundrum for the drug companies?
Well, I do think long-term it is, but it's more painful for me than it is for you. I pride myself. I take great pride in being a CEO who is shareholder friendly, that really does care about driving shareholder return short, medium, and long term. Unfortunately, given some of the changeover in our shareholder base as a result of Pfizer and Teva deals this year, the bad publicity from these price takers, and the political season, it's been tough to get our message out. We are going to continue to work hard on it, but I do believe we're undervalued. We're in the market buying back our stock, so there's a silver lining a bit because it's more accretive at a lower price. But we're going to get that stock price up. We're committed to it. It's the right thing. We are undervalued, and it should solve itself if we keep executing and we keep innovating.
Excellent. Let's leave it at that. That's Brent Saunders, President and CEO of Allergan. Our social contract with patients is available on the blog, and it's something that I think you must read, because versus the testimony you heard this afternoon, it's very different and much more positive. Mad Money's back in. Right. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.